3.5 years from the COVID-19 lockdown to the end of the world. The prophecy found in the 12th chapter of the book of Daniel has begun with the COVID-19 lockdown. We read the following in Daniel chapter 12, verse 11 and 12. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination of desolation set up, there shall be 1290 days. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh to the 1335 days. So basically, we just have to add 45 days to the existent 1290 days. And we get a total of 1335 days, which is the amount of days that elapse from the setting up of the abomination to the end of the world. And it has begun in the year 2020 with the COVID-19 lockdown, when the daily of the world was taken away. If you look closely to the Hebrew text of this chapter, you will see that the word translated in verse 11 as daily sacrifice is the word tamid. And this word, the word tamid, simply means routine, daily or continual. The word sacrifice was indeed supplied by the translators, and it mislead us. And people are looking for after the sacrificial system of a Jewish economy, and it really misleads people. Now, if we look to what is really in the text, we would be able to understand how it has begun in the year 2020 with the COVID-19 lockdown. Well, the verse should have been translated as follows. And from the time that the daily shall be taken away, the daily routine of the world shall be taken away. And when was it that the daily routine of the world was taken away? For the first time in history. It was in 2020 when the COVID-19 lockdown was enforced upon the world. We must count from there. It sounds crazy, I know. It sounds crazy. So, this is the reason why things are rapidly changing around us. Something has changed. Look around you, look around what is happening in the world. Christ once said, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, let him that readeth understand." The 24th chapter of the book of Matthew points us to the last days. It is a twofold prophecy. It is about destruction of Jerusalem and the end of the world. So this warning of Christ is for us. "When ye therefore shall see the abomination," spoken of by Daniel the prophet, Daniel chapter 12. Let him that readeth understand. Because if we don't understand, we will surely die. We will surely die. We must understand that the daily routine of the world was taken away as prophesied in the Bible, and that from this time to the end of the world, there is only 3.5 years. About 3.5 years. This is in the Bible. People might not believe it. And by the way, what does it mean to say that it will be as in the days of Noah? What did Christ mean, when he said that it will be as in the days of Noah, as in the days of Lot? How was the world some hours before the end, the end at the time of the flood? How was the world at the time of Lot? The day, some hours before Lot went out from Sodom and Gomorrah. Everything looked okay. It was the same at the time of Noah until the flood came and swept them all away. And Christ expressively say that it will be as in the days of Noah and the days of Lot. So what are you waiting for, my friend? The last 3.5 years has begun with the COVID-19 lockdown in the year 2020, and that's the reason why everything is so chaotic today in our world. And I am expecting Christ to come again in this world to take his children with him home in a few months. I'm eagerly waiting for Christ's second coming. And I know, based on prophecy, that he will indeed come again this year. We've been praying, we've been studying, we've been crying, and the Lord showed us many times how this message comes from him. You know, when I first understood this message, I was very troubled in my mind, saying that it cannot be the truth. It can't be the truth. If it was the truth, would not the other Christians and Seventh-day Adventists notice it? And we cannot be I and some other people around me cannot be the only people believing this, the only people that to whom the Lord have explained, have entrusted this message. And fortunately, we was not alone. It happened that there are some other believers who are expecting Christ to come again this year. And there are many Seventh-day Adventists who share this belief with me, but don't want to come out and say the truth. But we want to say the truth. No matter what it is going to cost us, we will say the truth. We will say the truth. We will speak the truth, So I think that I have said everything that I wanted to say. Oh, before I close, let me remind you that back to the year 2020, if we look back to this year and think about how the church and the state was working together, we will see how church and state was completely unified, how there was a perfect union of church and state. And this is a sign of the abomination of desolation also. And whatever the governments commanded the churches had to obey it. The churches had to comply with the standard narrative. And it was this way all throughout this crisis. And the governments were truly controlling the churches. And we know based on prophecy that each and every time church and states are like in complete union, this is a sign that persecution is around the corner. And it was the case ever since, and it has been the case ever since the year 2020. I know that it was the case even before, but it was nothing compared to what we have seen in the year 2020. So just look to the 12th chapter of Daniel. Think about what Christ said concerning what the prophet Daniel has spoken about. And think about how it will be. We are told that it will be as in the days of Noah. And read the chapter and look at the verse 11, where you can read that the word sacrifice was supplied, which means that it should have been translated as follow: from the time that the daily routine, the daily of the world is taken away, shall be taken away, there shall be only about 3.5 years, 1290 days, as prophesied in the text. And it all happened in the year 2020. But most people don't want to, seems to be reluctant to believe this truth. It is very unpopular, and it will be, as it was in the past, so it is today. People want to hear things that are being preached by great preachers, respectful preachers. Preachers that have earned the respect of the people. And people want sophisticated theories, but the simple truth of the Word of God is perceived as is judged as childish or unworthy of our consideration. And if we just look to what the text actually says, we will see that this prophecy is being fulfilled ever since the year 2020. And also, before I close, I'd like to just touch a word about the seventh trumpet and the seven thunders found in the book of Revelation. Many Seventh-day Adventists persist to believe that the seventh trumpet was sounded in the time of the pioneers, which according to them mean that there is no more time prophecy for our time, that all time prophecy ended at the time. And for those that take the Bible for what it says, it is impossible to believe such a thing. For we read in the text that it is when Christ comes again that the seventh trumpet will be given, that it is when Christ comes again that the seven thunders will utter the voices, which mean that it is in that time, at this precise time, that there will be no more time.